Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're talking about a feeling every single student knows, the fear of the blank page. You have an important essay to write, you open the document, and you just stare. It feels like your mind is completely empty.
It's the worst feeling. I have an essay due next week on the role of technology and modern friendships. I sat down yesterday for an hour. Nothing. Not a single sentence. It's more than just not having ideas. It feels like proof that I have nothing interesting to say at all. How can you write if you don't even know where to begin?
That's the question that stops so many people. And most of us think the solution is to try harder, to think more, to force an idea to appear. But what if the problem isn't that you have no ideas? What if the real problem is that you're looking for a perfect idea before you've even started?
But don't you need a good idea to write a good essay? That's the first step, right?
It sounds reasonable, but that belief is exactly what creates the fear. We see finished, polished essays from other students, and we imagine they started that way. We think the writer had a moment of genius, a perfect thesis statement appeared in their mind, and they simply wrote it down.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I assume the best students just know what they want to say.
And because we believe that, we put enormous pressure on that first moment. We treat the blank page like a test of our intelligence, our creativity, and when no brilliant idea comes in the first 5 minutes, we conclude we failed the test. The anxiety starts, and it becomes even harder to think.
That's exactly it. The longer I stare at the page, the more stupid I feel.
So let's reframe this. The goal when you first sit down is not to produce a good idea. The goal is not even to write a good sentence. The goal is simply to end the silence, to put something, anything, on the page. Your first thoughts are not a performance. They are just the raw materials. The very first, messy, confused thoughts are often the most useful.
So you're saying my first ideas are allowed to be bad?
I'm saying your initial ideas are not good or bad. They are just starting points. Thinking of them as good or bad is what paralyzes us. We need to separate the act of creating from the act of judging.
Okay, I like that idea. Separating creating from judging. But how do you actually do it? When I'm facing that blank page, what do I do?
Instead of trying to find an answer, you start by collecting questions. Forget the thesis statement. Forget the introduction. For the first 10 minutes, your only job is to fill the page with questions about your topic.
Questions? Not answers?
Exactly. For your essay on technology and friendship, you could just start typing every question that comes to mind, even the simple ones. Does texting count as real connection? Are online friends the same as real-life friends? Does social media make us more lonely or less? Why do people share so much online? What did friendship look like before phones?
I see. So I'm not trying to sound smart, I'm just being curious.
Precisely. The goal is to generate material, not to create a perfect argument. You are simply moving thoughts from your head onto the page so you can see them. You can't organize ideas that are still invisible, floating around in your mind. This question dump makes them visible.
Okay, so let's say I do that. I spend 10 minutes and now my page is full of questions. It's not blank anymore, which is good, but it's a mess. It's not an essay. What's next?
The next step is to look for patterns. Read through your list of questions. Don't answer them yet. Just look for words or ideas that repeat. In the questions we just listed, what words come up?
Well, friends or friendship is there. Lonely is there. Online and real life. Connection. Sharing.
Perfect. Now your job is to group them. This is the second step. Find your keyword clusters. You could put lonely and connection together. That's one theme. You could put online friends and real-life friends together. That's a comparison. Maybe sharing and privacy go together. That's another area of tension.
So I'm not inventing an idea out of nowhere. I'm finding it inside the mess I made.
You're discovering it. You are finding the hidden structure in your own curiosity. Suddenly, you don't have one big, scary topic anymore. You have 3 or 4 smaller, more manageable ideas to explore. Your essay could have a section on loneliness versus connection, another section on the definition of a real friend, a third on the pressures of online sharing.
And that becomes my outline.
It becomes your possible outline, a starting map. And from there, you can finally think about a thesis. A thesis statement is just an answer to a big question. Now that you have smaller questions, you can try to answer one. Maybe your thesis becomes, while technology appears to connect us, it can weaken the definition of true friendship by replacing deep connection with constant communication.
Wow, okay. That sentence feels like something a good student would write, but it didn't come from a flash of inspiration. It came from a messy list of questions and keywords.
Exactly. Good writing is not magic. It's a process. It starts with messy exploration, then moves to organization, and only then does it become a clear argument. The blank page isn't an enemy, it's just an empty space for you to do that messy thinking.
This makes sense, but it still feels uncertain. If this method is so effective, why do so many good students still struggle? Why do we all still feel that fear? Is it just a bad habit?
It's more than a habit. I think it's because from a very young age, school teaches us to value the correct answer. We get rewarded for the final, polished product, not for the messy process of discovery. We spend years learning how to present our ideas, but almost no time learning how to have ideas in the first place.
So we're trying to perform and explore at the same time.
And it's impossible. You can't be on stage and also be backstage building the set. The initial writing phase is backstage. It's for you and you alone. You have to give yourself permission for it to be messy, disorganized, and even a little bit embarrassing. A sculptor doesn't start with a polished statue. They start with a shapeless lump of clay. They add things, take things away, and slowly the form appears. The first draft is your lump of clay.
So the pressure I feel comes from trying to produce the statue on the first try.
That's the perfect way to put it. Once you have that messy first draft, your questions, your keyword clusters, a few simple sentences answering them, then and only then can you switch your brain from creator to critic. Now you can start to refine what you've written. You can fix the sentences, check your logic, and make your argument stronger. But you cannot refine a blank page.
You cannot refine a blank page. That's going to stick with me. It's a huge relief, actually. The goal isn't to be brilliant in the first minute. The goal is just to get some clay on the table.
Yes, and understanding this is not just about writing essays. It's a life skill. It's how you start a difficult project at work. It's how you solve a problem that has no obvious answer. You allow for a period of messy, open-minded, judgment-free exploration before you demand a perfect structured solution.
So the blank page isn't asking, are you smart enough? It's just asking, what are you curious about?
And that is a much gentler, more productive question to answer. It's a fundamental shift in perspective. It changes the act of starting from a moment of fear into a moment of possibility.
So if I go back to my essay now, my first job is not to write the introduction. My first job is just to generate a list of 20 questions about technology and friendship. And my initial list can be simple, messy, whatever.
Exactly. And once you have that, you will no longer have a blank page. You'll have a starting point. You can look for a structure within your questions, find your key ideas, and then begin to refine them.
The fear feels smaller now. The page is still blank, but it doesn't feel aggressive anymore. It just feels quiet, waiting.
That's the transformation. The blank page isn't a judge. It's a space to think. And hello again to everyone listening. We hope that quieted some of your own fears about starting. If there's another student problem or topic you're struggling with, please let us know in the comments below. We read all of your suggestions.